Coming up on this program, we show you how to get connected. Find out how to choose an internet service provider. Discover the newest form of communication, electronic mail.
Ways down and ready to ride. One by one, billion by billion, they're holding up half the sky. Raise your hand if you're ready and willing, if you know it's time. Time for a girl on time. Time for a girl on time. Time for a
Why does it take a minute for me to pop up? I don't know. But thank you for being here. I hope that everybody is doing well today. Okay, calm down, desk. Hi, Lindsay Dorset. Darth J, welcome. Adam's here. I know the names are still messed up, but I saw Christopher Engelby up there. Loving it. Thank you all for being here. I am excited. We're going to watch some more TPOs. That's right. TPOs. Hold on. Hi, Sashina. I see you too. I am going to get that. Hold on. I can do like 4 things at once, but not 5. So let me eliminate one of those things, and then I can do the other 2. Yes, this is the right one.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, Lydia is Stanley Emiden. Is that you say your full name, last name?
Yes.
We're not going to watch this whole thing, and definitely
And
not
is,
attendance.
O'Brien, Kendrick, Knoll. Okay, both parties present.
But we are
Nick-
going to watch this one. Now, you might recognize Karina. Because, hi, Jonathan. Are you feeling sick? I'm sorry, honey. I'm so sorry. I wish I could make you feel better. I do. If you're nauseous, something I could suggest trying is sniffing an alcohol pad. Like a little alcohol wipe. That can help with nausea. We do have a ceiling fan. Go ahead, mark that on your bingo cards, ladies and
next
gentlemen.
case,
Of course,
Rachel Williams.
the free space, as usual, my cleave. So, everybody mark that one off as well. Ginger does also work really good for nausea, but smelling an alcohol pad is like really quick. You don't have to eat anything. You just... It's not a bad kind of huffing. Yeah, Zofran. Isn't that like an injectable medication?
As a petitioner, respondent David Vincent. And that is cause number 25-000272. It is my understanding that this case has been transferred to Thurston County Superior Court. And we'll take no action today on this one. Okay, is Elizabeth Barrett present? Elizabeth?
Yes, I am.
Okay, so Miss Barrett, in your case, let me see
Yes.
if Karina Harris is present.
I am, Your Honor, right here.
Okay, Ms. Harris is present on Zoom platform, and so is Miss Barrett. Both of you, if you would raise your right hands. Do you both swear or affirm the testimony that you'll be providing will be truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, Ms. Barrett?
Yes.
Okay, so Ms. Barrett,
Yes.
in this case, I have seen that the Thurston County Sheriff's Office did serve Ms. Harris. And this is a issue of neighbors threatening animals. So Ms. Barrett, go ahead and tell me your side of the story.
Or I don't think it's much about my animals. It's also about she doesn't like that I'm a victim of domestic violence. Um, doesn't like what kind of mother I am. It's a lot of reason. There's a lot of various reasons why she's harassing me. I believe she wants money from me. She made that very clear. But my animals are used definitely as the main tool to harass me.
Okay, and how far do you live from each other?
So she lives across the street from me, and she's got two driveways. So one of them is across from my driveway, and then the other one is down the road a little bit further.
Okay, and in what way has she annoyed, harassed, or threatened you?
I get routine letters from her. They're either not certified or certified, demanding with legal threats. So I'll either give her, 40 something thousand dollars by a certain time frame, or I will, see a judge and seek legal justice or whatever the threats are. It's always legal threats. A lot of texting and calling. A lot of it's get your dogs out of my yard right now. And because of the legal threats, I leave my job, drive the 30 to 40-minute drive to get home, and nobody knows what she's talking about. My children say they don't know that the dogs were ever outside, let alone, this will be like sometimes early in the morning that I will leave my job to get the dogs from the road, but the dogs are in my house. So there's never a solution. We've done this before with my husband, where the judge told us work together as neighbors. So I gave her my number. I said, call me then. I don't mind coming and getting the dogs if they had gotten out of my fence and they're in the road. But that's not what she wants. She listed in one of her letters, like, we're not allowed to contact her unless we plan to pay her this money. So there's just not a resolution to make her happy and to make she used to visit while what we thought is verbally or visibly intoxicated off of something. Me being a nurse, I just can tell there's some sort of intoxication. This has led to more threats of more increase in what she wants us to pay for what she says defamation. But honestly, if you come to my house screaming, all you want is money, I don't find that to be normal behavior. And so between that and the phone calls and the letters, I just want left alone.
Just give me the description of the letter that you're referring to where she has made any demands. What is that about? Can you explain that?
It's one of these letters I had included in the evidence. What it's about, I have no idea. These rants are very random. We've never initiated contact with this woman, never known who she was before about a year ago when this started. So I can't explain any of this. It doesn't make sense to me. She doesn't really desire to work together so that I can make sense of any of it. It's just, she's just angry and wants money.
Okay, and then point me to that letter in your exhibits you're referring to. Where will I find that? And what is it? What is the heading of that letter or exhibit
It
number?
was submitted with my, I'm not sure the exhibit submitted it with my petition to ask for this, but then it got delayed because she wasn't served. So my original packet that I had submitted to request this.
Is that the one that is referring to certified mail on March 18th?
Yes.
Which says demand for compensation?
Yes.
And how did you respond to that, if any?
We were not responding. I was simply trying to ignore and let things pass. but she's also verbally and, over the phone or text or, she doesn't leave me alone. It's not just letters.
Okay. Anything else to add? Ms. Barrett, anything else?
I do not, just that I work a full-time job and yes, I work a full-time job. So I just would feel much better with the safety of knowing that if my children are home, they don't have to fight with this woman or her husband.
A lot of us work full-time jobs or jobs, ma'am.
Thank you, Ms. Barrett. Ms. Harris, so give me the basis for your demand letters that you're sending to Ms. Barrett.
Absolutely. So ever since we moved into this home, her dogs, her two pit bulls and her German Shepherd are left to roam, and they do not have containment. They do not have fencing. They went after my dog. It's scary. I have a little corgi, and our dog was trained to stay in our yard, and habitually the dogs are in our yard. And Ms. Barrett's direct neighbor already sued them, already got, I don't know if they got fully went to the, sued, but they had to get an attorney and charge them for fencing, and they had to pay. Since their property is fenced in, now their dogs come to our house. There's only one reason I've ever contacted the Barretts, and that's to come get their dogs. And the reason for the demand letter is because she is being sued, and we are pursuing it. And because of these false protection orders, she's getting sued for a lot more now. Who's really getting harassed is us. They have not contained their dogs. If you saw in my response, I have a letter from the neighbor. And the Barretts did have to pay, and they did pay for the neighbor's fencing. And that's where we're at. I'm done with them. And as soon as I told her no more communication ever again, this is going legal, I'm tired of the dogs here. A few days later, she filed this petition order. This is harassment and it's abuse of the court. Also, if you look, this is her 7th protection order between her and her husband, including mine, in the last couple of years. This is her life, is protection orders, drama. I don't care about her family, nothing other than I want their dogs to stay off of our property. Today is the first I've heard, oh, this is about domestic violence. It's always something new with her. We just are, for our safety, for our animals and us, her dogs need to get off our property, and she has yet to do it. So we have to also put up fencing like the neighbor did and sue her for it. Also, Your Honor, she has never spoke to me in person or over the phone to make these diagnoses of being intoxicated. That is trying to sway the court with lies. Who has public record is her husband of intoxication and drugs. I have never had a history of it, no current, no nothing. This is a woman who is making stories up about us when the truth is she doesn't contain her dogs. Now, furthermore, I submitted evidence to you to show how she has no credibility and is a full-blown liar. Is she said on her petition that she has a half-mile driveway? Half miles is exactly 2,640 feet. Her lot is 600 feet. I provided you a picture from the road to her house. It's maybe a couple hundred feet. Everything is consistent lies. She also said in her petition that we called her at 5:30 in the morning when her dogs are sitting right next to her. No, that was actually 6:30 when we called her, because I sent you proof of the screenshot of the phone call. So she's lying. She goes to work and she leaves her kids at home, and the kids evidently leave the dogs out. She said in her own petition, in her own words, that she has trained her kids not to let her dogs out or it's going to cost her a lot of money. She knows 100% that this is the issue. And when the police officer was over there and talked to them, her husband said, well, my kids let him out. Well, he tried to explain to them, when your kids let your dogs out, it's still your responsibility. So, Your Honor, there is, what she's done is she's filed this petition because we're suing her. And we are suing her. And for a lot more than she even knows about, because this is the second false protection order that she has filed us in retaliation because we are suing for the fencing. And I sent her a text saying there will never be communication again. We will not call her about her dogs being out, because what it does is she'll lie and say, no, I'm at my house and my kid, I fear for my kids. Oh, this petition, Your Honor, says that we said we were going to kill her dogs. So what this petition is the exact same case that was already dismissed. I've already submitted to the courts proof of her dogs on our property and proof that I'm just trying to get her dogs off her property. So what they did is last time her husband was the petitioner, they just swapped. Now she is. It's the exact same case, but now she's enhanced it and exaggerated it, said that I was going to kill her dogs, but yet she did not provide any proof in text, and we've never spoke. So she's a habitual liar. And yes, I think, yes, we are suing her, but that's not grounds to file a protection order. And I sent a legal document, a demand letter, before filing the lawsuit, letting her know we're suing her for the fence. The exact same thing the other neighbor had to do. So this is just a waste of our time, the court's time. We've already been through this. And this is what she does habitually, is file protection orders. And all the lying about substance abuse or intoxication, that she's a nurse. First of all, that's out of the scope of her certification. She could lose her nurse's license for that, for publicly diagnosing me, legally diagnosing me, and
Okay,
never been her
Ms.
proof.
Harris, I hear your position. I understand the issues now.
Thank
So
you.
we'll turn to Ms. Barrett for the last word.
Hey, Paul, how are ya? Long time no see. Glad to see ya. What an emotional whoopee cushion. I think, was Courtney here, by the way? Because we are going to do 2 cases tonight. And yeah, she's not diagnosing anybody. She's just talking like anybody else in this case. To be frank with you, I think this woman will be a terrible neighbor, allegedly. You understand? You understand? I'm talking about Karina. She strikes me as somebody who spends a lot of time at her home, making things look the way they are, be the way they are. And the vibes I'm getting are wouldn't like me. I get along with most people, but you gotta be, she's just rubbing me the wrong way. And you know what? I like to be rubbed the wrong way. You know what I'm saying? Also, exclamation mark Nirak. Remember, I'm a reverse Karen. I use my privilege for good whenever I can. Reminds me of a story I should have told in members only earlier. I can't tell it in regular time, but I will write it down so that I do. All right, let's listen. Let's finish off. By the way, we are going to watch Gerald's case as well. I just wanna. I think we should all do it together, and we're gonna.
So I understand currently that there is a civil litigation or disputed issues between the parties. Ms. Barrett, do you have anything else to add?
Yes, I included a screenshot where her husband called me, where the timestamp is on that screenshot. But I have never been sued by any neighbors. I've never paid any neighbors for a fence. I've never done any of those things. She's never called me to get my dogs out of her yard. She'll call me and say, or she'll text me or reach out to me and say, your dogs were in my yard at this time. So she's never actually called to say, hey, your dogs are in my yard right now. Can you come get them? That's never happened, not once. So these are just facts. So I have never been sued by a neighbor. I only get letters from her. I've never had any neighbor come to me and say, hey, I have issues. In fact, my neighbor, his dog is on my property more than probably daily, which so I made sure to send in that screenshot that, like, to say that my dogs are a huge issue. My neighbor's dog is a Rottweiler, brown and black, just like mine. always on the road. So that's something I sent in to the Thurston County's email to add later. So it was, I think, a week prior to my last
What I
read,
wouldn't give to look
where
at
I sent the
that
picture of my
fucking
neighbor's
email
dog.
inbox. By the way. By the way. I'm sure it's full of people improperly submitting shit, but oh, the fucking tea. Oh, I would love to be paid to look through that inbox every day. Yes, please. Yes, please. Yes, please.
On my property, just to kind of show that, like, I don't think that my dogs are an issue. I think it's just that she just wants this money that she's apparently going to sue me for. So as you can hear, these threats of, I'm going to sue you, I'm going to sue you for so much more money. And for the last year, it's gone up from, 8 something thousand to 40 something thousand. And now she says she's going to sue me for so much more. And so these constant threats are why I mentioned that I tell my kids all the time that the lady across the street wants to sue us. So you have to be very careful. And we're very careful. And I'm tired of living that way, because we don't have a lot of issues where my dogs are always at large or anything like that. She got very upset at Animal Services for not being able to do anything to me because we were not being malicious or negligent, anything.
Thank you. So in this case, I've heard from the petitioner, Ms. Barrett, and also a response from the respondent, Ms. Harris. In this case, I have to make a finding based on the factual basis whether a protection order is warranted in this case under RCW 10-14-020. My question would be, to see whether the petitioner has met the burden by preponderance of the evidence, which means more likely than not that the activity rises to the level of an order that can send someone to potentially to jail for violating it in the future. At this point, I have heard the testimony and I find that the petitioner has not met that burden. This is an issue that the underlying issue in this case might be a dispute regarding any other civil litigation, and that cannot be the basis for a no contact order where I have to make a finding that there is a knowing and willful course of conduct by the respondent, which is seriously annoying, harassing, or is detrimental. These are two neighbors who have their own views about how to conduct their business. So at this point, I am going to deny the petition and not issue a no contact order in this case.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Do you
Okay,
think
so
the judge was
Ms.
right
Barrett
or
and Ms.
wrong?
Harris, this paperwork will be in court files in the next day or so. You, once it is scanned, you can receive the copies from the court. We are
Did you
concluded
say it was a
in
scam, Judge?
Barrett v. Harris matter. I'll recall number 3, Mr. Emiden is still on Zoom platform, I hope. And then I see Mr. Noel present in Zoom in court. Is Lydia Stanley Emiden and James Owen?
YouTube Daddy, why did you change all the names? Mikey's checkmark still looks good as ever, though. First of all, NPC, thank you so much. Thank you. And Mikey, if you're here for the nasty, that's me. And I'm here. What can I say? I hear today you're queer. Was that the rumor? Anyways, what case did he just say his time? Did he see Gerald's name? Now you made me miss it. I got distracted.
Okay, based on the testimony that I heard from Mr. Emiden and in response from Ms. Knoll, I am going to deny the petition at this point and not issue a no contact order currently.
Oh my God,
and
this
then
judge
I'm-
just gives the big D without even, he didn't lube that up. Did you see that? He didn't take it. He just shoved it right in. I sort of love that. Anyways, sorry. Judge. Terrible.
Doing for the same reasons that I indicated in my earlier case, the petitioner has not met the burden where I find that a issuance of a no contact order, which can subject the respondent for a criminal liability, is warranted. This case, I see that there are issues that they may have been at the employment at the same place once upon a time that may have changed. And again, Mr. Emiden, if anything changes, you can certainly refile the petition for a no contact order or seek any other legal measures and security measures. You can certainly call 911 if things change. At this point, I'm going to deny this petition. So Mr. Emiden and Mr. Knoll, this paperwork will be filed in court files once it's scanned, and both parties will have the opportunity to be able to retrieve that.
Thank you.
We are concluded with that matter. Thank you.
Have a nice day.
Thank you.
Adam!
Next case I'll call is Harley Overmeyer. I
Harley.
saw Harley Overmeyer present earlier on Zoom.
Yes, Your Honor.
So, Ms.
No, we're not listening to him fucking. He doesn't give, yeah. He doesn't reset. He denies them all. He just gives the D to everybody. And we're gonna watch Gerald. We'll see if he gets the D as well, or this case gets the D. You did get me.
You under oath, I reviewed portions of the petition, and if there's any, I'll hear from you, and then I'll turn to Mr. McKinley. I'll put both of you under oath. I reviewed portions of the petition, and if there's any additional information that I might be missing, both parties will have the opportunity to supplement that. Ms. Griffith and Mr. McKinney. Want to raise your right hands? Do you swear or affirm the testimony that you'll be providing will be truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you. So Ms. Griffith, I'll hear from you.
I was with Gerald for 15 years. In 2014, November, he was arrested for domestic violence. He was drunk and screaming out.
What was that year again?
It was 2014.
2014, okay. Sorry. to interrupt. Go ahead.
2014 was a long
Gerald
time ago.
drunk and screaming at me, took a printer and a printer scanner, threw them on the floor, stomped them so bad that the
Whoa. Hold on. The humble brag. Look at him. He's aghast. A printer and a printer scanner? Both? He left the household with no printing capabilities at all? The judge is shocked. The judge is purely shocked, and so am I. 2014 was a year of printing. People were printing left, right, and center. Some people even had little printers for their cameras. Yeah, they still had cameras.
police thought it was one printer. I was scared and shaking uncontrollably. I called 911. He said, hang up that effing phone right now. I did. But the police came and with their guns drawn, came into the house while I was trying to pack my things, and he was still screaming at me. He was arrested and taken to jail that night. Around August 2018, Gerald threw a flashlight at me at our cabin, mad at me because he said that I threw away his Reader's Digest because he couldn't find them because he was drunk again. He left me there and left around midnight in a vehicle, and I had to have my son come get me the next day because I had no vehicle. Gerald has thrown a plate of chicken at me when he was drunk and angry. Gerald kicked my car door when I was trying to leave. the home while he was drunk and mad. He, on several occasions, Gerald has kicked and punched our dogs. On 2 separate occasions, he threw our dog Josie into the wall at our Arizona home and our East Wenatchee home, putting dents and holes in the wall. And I have pictures of that if
First of all, humble brag 2 homes? Is that what I'm getting here?
you'd like to see them.
You can hold off on that, Ms. Griffith, for now, because these are all old previous incidents that you're referring to. Tell me more about the recent course of conduct that will allow the court to issue a no contact order by finding that there is certain willful annoyance, harassment, and a continued course of conduct.
Since I left Gerald, he has texted me over 200 times from June 30th to August 8th, when he was served with this temporary restraining order.
June 30th to August 8th of this year?
Yes,
How many text messages?
it was over 200.
Over 200. And tell me the nature of those text messages.
First, he wanted me back. Then he was mad that I didn't help him finish moving his warehouse. Then Gerald told me what a horrible person I was and to stay away from his family. Gerald wasn't getting a response from me, then began stalking me. First letting me know that he knew I was in Rochester, then saying it's a long way from Apricot Street to my home, which is the street I live on. And I moved 3.5 hours away. Then saying, I know where you are. He kept saying, I need to get the cat. I told him I would. But before I could, on July 23rd, he dropped our 15-year-old cat and left him in a crate in the sun. Because I don't use that phone that he texted me on due to his out of control text. I didn't see the text for 1.5 hours after he left Siggy, our cat, in the sun. This was all done to intimidate me and scare me, letting me know that he could buy me, even though I moved 3.5 hours from him. I was scared to be outside and kept watching to see if he was driving by. Gerald said July 23rd, and I quote, another day without eating. Try having a stroke and having the best thing in your life leave you. And then your friend calls up trying to rip me. Stupid shit, Denise. You know it. May God grant you and your friend a stroke. Still quoting, why don't you talk? You just sit there, nothing. I'm so goddamn mad you ever called my mom and dad, mom and dad. You effing pissed me off so bad. I love you to death, Denise. At that point, I took the words to death seriously and looked into this restraining order. I witnessed Gerald smoke pot daily. Gerald drinks alcohol and drives while intoxicated. And there wasn't a day that he wasn't cruel, mean, or violent with me. I'm exhausted. I'm tired of being bullied by a drunk. And I just wanted to leave me alone. I'm trying to put this past 15 years behind me.
Thank you, Ms. Griffith. Anything else? Thank you. So, Mr. McKinley, I will give you the opportunity to address your position. Do you have any reason to continue to have contact with Ms. Griffith?
Yes, Your Honor. We do have properties that need to be dealt with together that I put her name on the titles of both. And then we just got to settle up things. I mean, there's a lot of things to settle up. That we were never married. So she's just a girlfriend that left me. That's what she is. I mean, she was way more than that to me, but I don't know how to go forward if I get this petition put against me. But I guess my question is to you, Your Honor, did you see my email? Did you read my email?
I read so many
Once
things.
again, in that email.
Will
You guys,
double
I gotta
check.
get started
Tell
getting
me
ready to
about
go.
that
I'm gonna
email.
put
It's,
my camera
well, it
on and
starts
take care of
out
it.
what happened on June 29th.
Of this year?
Yes, when she left, the day she left.
Okay, go ahead. Tell me about it.
Well, she left and took off, and she took $5,000 out of the safe, which was business fund. She took in, first thing she does is go on a fishing trip, and then she turns around and goes on a 700-mile trip up to my cabin or my niece's cabin, which is right next door, you know, and then, but this whole thing is about a cat, her cat. I took him when she left the day on June 29th. She told me what she did, you know, took the money and took my dog, Bruiser, and then her dog, but she didn't take her cat, and it's her cat. And I'm in no position to take care of a cat, Your Honor, none at all. And I told her that she needed to come get the cat a couple times, and then no response. And finally, she did text me saying that she was going to come get some things out of the house and get the cat. And so after that, you know, still nothing. And I text her, I said, I will be there next week because I had a piece of equipment sitting down in Chehalis that I had to go get. And I'd had her address because she tagged her friend there, Miss Waddell. And so through the county records there, that's how I got her address where she was. And then when I dropped the cat off, Your Honor, it was early in the morning, it's 8:30. It wasn't very hot out or anything like that. And then she took and I texted her right away that I did that. Well, I drove around the corner and the wheel bearing on my trailer went bad. And so I spent about an hour and a half, 2 hours in Rochester there fixing the wheel bearing. And what I had to do is go down to Bulldog Trailers there, a little south of there, parts. And on the way back, I put the GPS on her house because I didn't know if they got the cat or not. Then I'm on my way back, and here I get this phone call from this Miss Waddell, who I don't even know. And she's telling me, Jerry, you went way over the top this time. You went way over the top. And I'm like, you know, and she said, she tried to convince me that the cat is mine. And she kept trying to do that. And she wasn't having it at all. She wasn't listening to nothing I was saying. Finally, I hung up on her. And so then after that, the next day, I text her and I asked her about, I mentioned the, you know, her reaching out to me yesterday, and that, you know, I asked her if she would take and mind her own business and try not to get in, or not to get in the middle of me and Denise's affairs. And so anyway, she texted me back, and I can quote her. It's all in those emails too. I told Denise, like I said, I was bringing SIG. So yeah, July 31st, I text Pamela and said, so about yesterday's call, I appreciate you not butting into mine and Denise's affairs. All you did was show me bluster of which nothing materialized. SIG is Denise's cat from day one, and I told her I was bringing him. So please mind your own business. Then she texts me back right away, and she goes, you brought me into this. You showed up at my house. 2 reports have been filed and recorded. Now, these are quotes. And once again, you are bringing me into this by messaging me. I text her back, stupid shit. I text again, we'll call the sheriff's office, since she said she did that. She texted me back.
So, Mr. McKinney, I'll stop you for a second.
Sure.
Tell me, what is the real property that you're referring to?
Well, we have property in Arizona, and we got 23 acres up in Okanagan County.
And Miss Griffith is on title on that?
Yes, I put her on there, Your Honor. I did. I mean, I thought that was the thing to do at the time, Your Honor, because, you know, I thought Denise was my forever. I mean, I love that girl sitting right in front of you, that woman.
You
Totally
co-own that property?
Yes, we do. I put her name on there. Now, on the property in Okanagan County, my mom and dad put $14,000 into that, just to make a note of that. And Denise knows that, because I was going to take it on a note because I had $20,000. And so, and then once my dad heard about I was going to do a note, he said, no, we'll just give you the other 14,000, in which I tried to pay them back and they would not let me.
And you just referred earlier to an email that you have submitted. I could not find it. Can you tell me if you provided a copy of that to court and into Ms. Griffith?
I sent the email down the other day. I sent 2 of them, and I called the clerk's office there, or whoever I talked to, and he said he saw it, And so he said that was fine. So it's
And
there.
did you provide a copy of that to Ms. Griffith also, or was
No.
she CC'd on that?
I didn't know how to, Your Honor. I have no idea how to do that. I mean, but the guy that answered the phone said he saw the email. He said he saw it. So I
So
figured I
you
did.
live in, you still live in Douglas County?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And Ms. Griffith, what happened to those cases in Douglas County that you were referring to from way back when?
I went in and basically I lied because I knew if I said what happened, that he would come home and he'd be really mad.
Okay, thank you. So tell me about that property that you co-own with Mr. McKinney.
We own property in Arizona that both our names are on it. We also own property up in Okanagan that both our names are on that property as well. And I will take care of that through a third party so that we can get that separated. I also have some titles of some vehicles that were in my name only that he's threatening to sue me to get back. And I will have a third party take care of that as well. I do have clothing and various items still at the home that I would like to go get. He says that when I left everything and he changed the locks and the windows are locked and I can't get my things. I took what I took when I left.
Your Honor, she can have whatever she wants. She knows that. And I told her I would put it out on the front porch. I got a covered porch here. I mean, she took $5,000 of mine. Then she had planned this all along. She had me pay for her car to get fixed. And then, you know, which I didn't know she was going to go anywhere. And then that was over $400. Looks like she paid off her Macy's card, which out of my bank account. She claims that we had a joint account. We don't have a joint account. It was a business account and she was a signer on it. That's all. I took her off because she was putting money on the card. So I don't really want her back here again. I will give her stuff back, but to have her in my house, I don't agree with that at all. The trust is just gone. It's just gone. I mean, but I just don't understand why this all exploded around a cat and that gal, her friend, while she jumped in and involved herself. And I see her sitting in that courtroom too.
Thank you, Mr. McKinney.
The cat really isn't the issue.
I'm prepared to make a ruling at this
Okay,
point, Ms.
thank you, sir.
Griffith. I am finding that the testimony provided by Ms. Griffith is credible. I see that there are issues regarding course of conduct that may annoy, harass, or be detrimental as to one party over the other. At this point, a no contact order in this case is warranted. I will allow the issuance of a no contact order in this case for anti-harassment, except that I'll make an exception that third-party contact shall be allowed to discuss or resolve any issues regarding co-ownership of any joint property. That order will be in effect for 1 year. Mr. McKinney, Ms. Griffith is clear that she wants to have no contact from you, and I don't see that you have any serious dispute as to that, except that I am allowing that third-party contact to resolve any co-ownership of the properties that are jointly held together. This paperwork will be in court files within a day or so, once it's scanned in the system, and both parties will be able to retrieve that.
Thank you, Your Honor.
So with that, we are completed with your case, Mr. McKinney and Ms. Griffith. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Your Honor, may I ask you one more thing?
Yes.
Her son has a tractor of mine that he has never brought back, and he needs to bring that back to me.
Mr. McKinney, I think the language in the order that will include that third-party contact shall be allowed to discuss any or resolve any issues regarding co ownership of joint property, which may include that if, but I am not addressing the. Let me hear from Ms. Griffith. Ms. Griffith, what was that
It's
about?
a small right-on edger is what it is that makes ditches, is what it is. And he borrowed it a long time ago. But he also left a bunch of stuff at his house for 3 years. But,
And
I
that,
can talk
that
to-
is
I can
currently
talk
with
to
your
my-
son?
yeah, I can talk to him and tell him, hey, could you get that back over there to him? And I'm
Okay.
sure he will. That won't be an issue.
All right, that will not be part of this litigation at this point. Ms. Griffith may follow, may not follow. She is not under any orders. That is a property that belongs to Mr. McKinney, is currently with a third party, and that third party has the obligation to return that. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay. Furman Soto Farias.
No, we already watched that earlier at members only. We gotta go. I gotta go. I gotta go. I gotta go. I do. She doesn't want to be a farmer's wife. Ooh. Well, Courtney said that farmers have the best sex. Courtney's my friend. I believe her. So maybe I do want to fuck a farmer. I don't know. I changed my outfit because I'm going out. I don't need to wear a dress. I'm going out to spend time with a special man in my life, my nephew. He is just 16 months old, so he doesn't care what I'm wearing. But he does like it when I crawl on the floor with him, and so baby plaid is not such a baby anymore, and I need to be mobile, jeans and all. Anyways, you guys, thank you so much. I really enjoyed this evening. We're going to be back at it tomorrow afternoon. I'll try and post it with the thumbnail. Do we want to take bets on if my zit will be better tomorrow, worse tomorrow, or just the same? I'm going with hopefully gone. That's what I'm going to bet, that it'll be gone, but we'll see. Anyways, I love you guys so much. Do me a favor, remember that I love you, I'm proud of you, and I will see you in the next video. Okay, bye.